Good morning, everyone. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm not covered in hives. Yesterday was a great day. It was the first day I didn't have like a massive breakout. So things are improving, and I haven't seen the specialist yet. I'm in Canada, so I just kind of have to wait. Thank you for free healthcare, but it's not super fast. But I've been doing a ton of research. So many people have reached out and sent me all of these different things. I really cracked down on my diet. And then, I kind of went down all these like health rabbit holes because that's what I love doing. And I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook or anywhere else, these like dopamine things, these reels about dopamines and these programs you can sign up for. And of course, they're always trying to sell you stuff. But I started kind of like researching the dopamine thing because we're starting Monday with a new challenge group for May. And it's really, really going to be focused on we're going to focus on weight loss. We're going to focus on nutrition. We're going to focus on changes. But like I've always told you guys, it's not just about calories in, calories out. The journey's not that simple. There's a whole psychological journey that we're going to go down. And although I'm really happy with my weight, I've lost 100 pounds, I'm maintaining it. I still fluctuate about 10 pounds. I'll go 10 pounds up, so 90 pounds lost, and then back down to 100 pounds. I still wanted to lose more. I still want to lose more, but I am really happy with where I am. So now my focus is really like, okay, maintain the weight loss, but also improve my overall health. So having had the month that I've had in April, I'm like, okay, I write down my food every day. I've gone over that and, nitpicked through to make sure that the health issues weren't necessarily dietary, like my macronutrients, making sure my vitamins are there, really putting my supplements under a microscope to make sure that, okay, my supplements aren't a trigger. The only supplements I really take on a daily basis is collagen and my plant-based Shakeology or Shaklee, whichever one I'm using that day. And the science behind those, like when you dig past advertisements and people who are selling it and making all those claims, when you actually dig down into like scientific research, these products that we buy, the really high-end ones, they're really not filled with the garbage that the cheaper ones are. So I really feel that my supplements they have the health benefits that I'm looking for, and they're not what's causing my anaphylactic, whatever you want to call it, these hives that I have. I'm 99% sure, if I'm being really honest with you guys, it's like micro stress moments in my day, stressful moments in my day that are causing a histamine reaction, which is common. It's actually really common, especially as my body ages and my hormones are changing. So, I dug into hormones. I had a lot of time, lately with being at home sick to dig into these. But then it also, during that research was looking into the dopamine. I'm a big, I love to read. I love to read factual, I love to read really good, high quality documents about health and nutrition, not necessarily like good family reads where someone posted on their blog. I'd like to read information from doctors and from research companies. And, I really like health organizations that are focused on health and scientific evidence. But this dopamine addiction kept coming up over and over and over again. And as I was reading and digging through it, I noticed a lot of similarities between my life in 2025, and some of this information that's been coming out. This addiction to these tiny little moments of like, ooh, ah, ee. You drink your coffee. Ooh, you open up your phone, you have a message. Ooh, we're addicted to that little ooh, ha. And then I'm like, okay, let's do food here. That little moment you put that chocolate in your mouth. Ooh, I am a food addict. I will always be a food addict. And it's the mini dopamine hit that you get from that food that you are craving. The hand to mouth action of consuming. And I can see a lot of health benefits for me if I can focus on that little dopamine addiction I have, in the umbrella of like food addiction, pairing them both. The world globally has set us up to crave those little mini moments. And you wake up and it's all those advertisements, right? I'm seeing a ton of them. I don't know why. It's probably because I've been doing a lot of research, and my algorithm is saying like, oh, she'll buy this, so they're sending me all the information. But when I get past the advertisement and I start digging into the scientific research, like medical health universities have released so much information. If you look up dopamine and you scroll past everybody who's paid to have their information at the top of that search, and you really start to dig into it, there's a lot of really reasonable information there that can be used. And whether this is just another hype to sell you things or not, the information is valuable. So what I want to do in May, because I can't just run a weight loss group. I don't work that way, because I know natural weight loss is not just about cutting out food and exercising. Like it's not. It's a psychological journey, and I cannot lead you through these programs without talking about the mental health side, without talking about the psychological side. So for my May challenge group, we're going to do a really heavy focus on food and nutrition, because that is what gets results. But in order for you to do food and nutrition and exercise for a lifetime, you have got to focus. You have got to add in the psychological. You've got to add in, how did you get to where you are right now? What are the habits that you have every single day that are taking away from your lifelong success? Yeah, sure. I could say like, I can guarantee you 10 pounds this challenge group. If you don't lose 10 pounds, I'll give you something for free. Well, I'm not going to do that, because I don't care how much you lose right away. I care about how you feel in 6 weeks, in 6 months, in 6 years. And there's absolutely no product that I could possibly sell you to give you my guarantee, because my guarantee is, I guarantee you it's going to be hard work. I guarantee you are going to have days where you're like, I can't do this. This is too hard, and you go back to those old habits. But if we do this together and we dig into your choices together, and we start to understand what your autonomous systems are, what systems are in place in your life, in your habits that are automatic. I wake up every single morning and I automatically make myself a cup of joe every single morning. And I recognize that this is my first dopamine hit of the day, probably after I pick up my phone. My phone is charging right beside my bed. I wake up and I grab it and I look. And I'm like, I could change that. Why would I change that? It doesn't have anything to do with my weight loss. It's because I really want to focus on what am I doing every single day for a mini dopamine hit that I could cut out. I don't have to pick up my phone first thing in the morning. I can leave it on my nightstand. I could give up my coffee, but I think that's a non-negotiable. It's not a mini dopamine hit. It's like an entire hour of like caressing and cuddling, and it's a weird relationship that I have with I have 1 cup of coffee in the day, and it's in the morning. And there's health benefits to coffee. So I'm going to make every excuse possible to skip cutting out my coffee. Then, breakfast is a dopamine hit, and I've got that down pat. I have the same breakfast 5 out of 7 days a week, and I don't find it boring. And I love the flavor. That's the bruschetta eggs, and it keeps me full. I make my smoothie, and I'm thinking of my day. Where am I seeking out dopamine hits? Because I like to look at myself as a pretty grounded, I love nature, I love going out, yada, yada, yada. But then I micro inspected my choices over life, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I made that decision because I was looking for a dopamine hit. And it sounds like dopamine's a drug, right? But I'm just saying those like mini moments of pleasure. A little mini chocolate bar. Yesterday, if I'm being really honest, I had 4 mini chocolate bars. I don't even need them. I'm not even hungry. Just that inability to overcome the temptation. I had a 1/4 cup of ice cream. Probably not even a 1/4 cup of ice cream. I scooped out the bottom of an empty ice cream jar, which I had probably eaten in the last month myself. But food is my biggest dopamine hit. So if I'm aware and I'm thinking, okay, why am I doing this? That's the key, guys. That's the key to weight loss. Why? Why are you doing the things? Why are you eating the food? Why is it so hard to just eat healthy and exercise? Why? That why is what controls everything. And it's up here, okay? It's not easy. Better not be losing my voice. It's not easy. And that's why you need support. And that's why, you know what, honestly, and this isn't a sales tactic, that's why I need Beachbody, because I need it because of the community, because of the workouts, because of how simple it is, because of how they talk to me, because of how it's just organized. It makes the fitness side of things easier than if I was trying to do it myself. More accountability, all that stuff. I need Beachbody. That's how I was successful. That's why I'll never give it up. Then I look at my smoothie. Now, I don't need to have Life Shake by Shaklee or Shakeology. I don't need to have those brand name products, but I love them. And I know that I'm investing in it. Now, the Life Shake is half the price of Shakeology, but I still love Shakeology. So those are just choices that I've made in my nutritional journey. They're my supplements. They give me my vitamins and nutrients. They make me feel more comfortable about my food choices through the day, because I do eat almost the same thing every day, and there's going to be gaps in my nutrition, even though I'm eating salads and vegetables and proteins and very clean whole foods. There's still going to be gaps. Plus my shake, and it can be any shake, guys. It doesn't have to have a brand. You can just mix yourself a smoothie with whatever you have. That smoothie, of that action of sipping my smoothie all morning keeps my nutrition from Monday to Friday 100% until 3 o'clock every day. I am so good at my food until 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock hits and it's like witching hour. How to get over the 3 o'clock. So my plan is I'm going to prepare and have ready and have a little note, because I keep forgetting about it, banana mug cake. That's what helped me during my 100-pound journey of like really losing the weight, was that banana mug cake in the afternoon. So it's understanding how your journey is working right now, because maybe you're at a weight where you're not happy. So you have to go back and look at, okay, where am I going wrong? Where are the things that I'm doing? It could be actions. It could be psychological. It could be hand to mouth. You've got to microscopically inspect your habits. And for some people, that's uncomfortable. Like for me, my coffee, that feels non-negotiable. For other people, it might be the bag of chips. That bag of chips that for years you've eaten an entire bag of chips at 4 o'clock. And it feels like a non-negotiable. But it doesn't have to be the first thing you give up, even if it's maybe the biggest thing that's causing you, interference in your weight loss journey. You don't have to give up your most favorite thing, but you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to find room in your diet and in your habits to make changes. So that's where you think of it as like dopamine. Where am I getting this little hit of happiness? You're looking forward to that bag of chips before you even see it in the cupboard and grab it. I'm looking forward to my coffee the second I wake up. It's what gets me out of bed. That routine, the smell. I'm just in love with it so much. It would be the last habit I would get rid of, because it's just a part of me. But I know that you guys are thinking the same thing. Maybe it's stopping off at your favorite coffee shop. Maybe you love your barista. I don't live in a city where I have those big connections to either people or habits or places, because I'm in a small town in the country. But I have my own dopamine habits, and I have my own things that I would really struggle to give up. So instead of giving them up completely or giving them up first, find somewhere else that you can give up. Because what happens is your body's going to adjust itself to the change. At first, it's easier. You give up small things and you see results on the scale. You give up more things, you see results. Eventually, you get to a point like myself where it's literally I have to make the biggest swooping changes to lose 5 pounds. And that is like super clean eating, super consistent exercise. Like there's not a whole lot of room for addiction or dopamine hits when you've lost 100 pounds or when you're at quote unquote a healthy weight. I'm still not at a healthy weight, which blows my mind because I feel amazing. And I look in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, I look good. I'm going to be 42 in a week. I look good and I feel good. But medically, they tell me I'm still overweight. And I'm like, I know the work that I need to do in order to get down to like their quote unquote healthy weight. I don't know if I'm willing to put that much work into it. I don't know. I want to though. But that why, it has to be so strong. So this week, as we gear up for Monday, I'm just going to be putting out content, and Facebook has changed some things, which is going to make it a little easier for me to do. But what you need to do is just follow me. So if you go into my Facebook, there's a button, I think it's blue, and it just says follow. Click that button, because my content, yes, it's going to be in my free group Rosology, but I'm actually, for the first time ever, going to run my challenge group directly from my public Facebook page. Because what I can do now is automatically have the post come out. Because I've written all of this content and I've been sharing it for years in Rosology, but now there's a way for me to automatically share it into Facebook at the same time every day. And I don't have to go to my computer every day. I can set it up. Like if I spend a couple hours on the weekend, I can have it all come out automatically through scheduled postings, which I'm actually really excited about. So make sure that you follow me to get that content. And then there's also ways, but I post a lot about my family. I'm sorry. So if you don't friend me, you won't see all the family stuff. You'll see the like weight loss content. But you can actually, I know some people will do this, but some people are like, I'm not going to do that. Do whatever you want. You can get a notification every single time I post something new, and then that will bring you to the content for the challenge group. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. It is free. It is beach body content because that is what I'm doing. But the psychological part of it, the dopamine that we're going to talk about, the why you do things, the conversation we're going to have, that's all going to be just natural and organic. You know, I don't have posts set up. I'm not, selling any products. It's just conversation, because conversation and community is just as important as all the other information. All right, I gotta go. I just checked the time. I got kids to get on the bus. My neighbor just bought a brand new vehicle. I want to go look at it before she leaves for work. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. And I really hope I see you commenting and liking and absorbing the content that I'm going to put out, because it's new and it's going to be fun, and you're going to get the results if you do the work. Okay. Mwah. Bye.